I had always trusted my wife, Nadia, implicitly. We had been married for 8 years, had a child together, and shared a comfortable home. I believed our relationship was strong, built on years of shared experiences, laughter, and love. I was utterly convinced that she valued our family as much as I did. Then, one evening, everything changed. It started with subtle hints. Nadia became increasingly secretive with her phone. She would leave the room to take calls, hide messages, and spend hours online. Initially, I dismissed it as stress from work or fatigue, but the unease I felt began to grow. Something didn't feel right. I decided to investigate carefully before making any accusations. I wanted proof, and I wanted to know the truth before confronting her. One night, after coming home earlier than usual, I heard noises in our bedroom. Curiosity and fear drove me to take a drastic step. I hid quietly in the closet, heart pounding, trying to remain unseen. Moments later, I witnessed Nadia in a situation I could never have imagined. She wasn't alone. A man I had never met was in our home, and they were intimately involved. Shock froze me in place. My mind raced. My trust, my love, my years with her, all of it felt shattered in an instant. I stayed in the closet long enough to capture every detail. I took mental notes, imagining how I could protect myself and my child while also planning my next steps. I did not confront them immediately. My plan required patience, strategy, and evidence that would be undeniable. The betrayal cut deep, but I forced myself to remain calm, thinking about the consequences if I acted impulsively. The following days were tense. I continued to monitor Nadia subtly, documenting every suspicious behavior, recording messages and photos, and noting her comings and goings. The man she was seeing was brazen, and Nadia seemed convinced I would never discover the truth. I began consulting with a lawyer, preparing legal documents in case I needed to pursue full custody of our child and secure financial protection. Finally, the perfect moment presented itself. Nadia and her lover had planned another rendezvous at our home, confident that I would not be there. I arrived early, quietly, and watched as they entered. I waited until they were settled before revealing myself. I did not shout. I did not act violently. I simply stepped into the room, holding my phone, where I had compiled all the evidence of their affair. Nadia's eyes widened in disbelief. The man froze. "I trusted you," I said calmly. "I loved you, and you chose betrayal." Nadia tried to speak, to justify her actions, but I silenced her with a simple gesture. I had already contacted the authorities and my lawyer. Within minutes, she and her lover were confronted with the evidence and the reality of their actions. The humiliation was immediate. Friends and family who had been invited to a small gathering learned the truth. The affair was exposed fully, leaving Nadia and her lover shocked and embarrassed. In the following weeks, I filed for divorce. With all evidence in hand, I secured full custody of our child and reclaimed control of the home and financial assets. Nadia walked away with nothing, and her lover vanished from the community, shunned by those who had known them. It was a brutal lesson in betrayal and consequences. Years of deception had finally led to accountability. Today, I live in peace with my child. We rebuilt our lives together, stronger and more resilient than before. Nadia occasionally attempts to reach out, claiming regret, but I do not respond. I have learned that some betrayals cannot be forgiven, only acknowledged and dealt with decisively. The closet where I discovered her betrayal remains a reminder. Vigilance, patience, and planning can turn the deepest wounds into lessons and victory.